Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for joining us once again for our English Flash News edition. As usual, I'm Daniel Cook, your host, and I'm pleased to bring you the Albanian news in English so that you all can understand it. In today's news, the police have apprehended 12 buses after a scam involving Albanian citizens seeking asylum in Germany. There have been rumors spreading around that Albanians who travel to Germany can immediately gain entry to an asylum camp, and some people are falling prey to this rumor, even though it is clearly an abusive scheme. The passengers on these 12 buses were all destined for Italy, or Italy and then Germany. Most of those detained were young men who claimed that they were going to visit their various relatives for the holidays. Most of those detained were young men. The police escorted the travel agency owner to the station, and the Interior Ministry appealed to all the citizens not to fall prey to this kind of scheme. The ministry said that Albania is considered to be a safe country, and that as such, no asylum is granted for Albanians leaving their country. These rumors alerted the police to this group of buses. They stopped the activity at the port of Vlora for about half an hour while they apprehended the suspicious buses. The road that connects Tirana to Elbasan is still blocked at the village of Ibe. Several days ago, a landslide knocked out a portion of this road. Under the agreement with the road authority, the company that is working on this stretch of road will stop their work because of the high risk of further collapse. The possibility of a temporary road to connect Tirana and Elbasan is being considered. The problem of housing the residents of the area is still unsolved. They have been promised that their rent will be paid for while they wait to return to their homes, but so far this has not taken place. The residents claim that they are still paying out of pocket for renting other houses. Two members of the European Parliament have been planning to visit Albania for several days now, with the hope of encouraging the opposition to rejoin the parliament. As it was predicted, the European Parliament member Knut Fleckenstein arrived today in Albania. Mr. Fleckenstein intends to waste no time and get right down to business. In fact, he will hold two important meetings this very evening, on the same day of his arrival. Fleckenstein will first meet the Assembly Speaker Ilir Meta at 6 o'clock, followed by Prime Minister Edi Rama at 7 o'clock. Tomorrow morning, Fleckenstein is expected to meet with the chairman of the Democratic Party, Lulzim Basha. Mr. Basha is in Brussels right now, where the opposition has been seeking to attain an international guarantee before they return to Parliament. Basha will return to Albania this evening so that he can host Fleckenstein in the early hours of tomorrow morning at the Democratic Party headquarters. The second European Parliament member, Eduard Kukan, is expected to be in Albania on the 21st and 22nd of December. His visit will come just 2 days before the last session of the Parliament. Yesterday, Kukan and Fleckenstein published a joint statement encouraging the restoration of political dialogue between the ruling party and the opposition. The statement underlined that the constructive and stable political dialogue is vital to Albania's integration process, together with the political debate that needs to take place in Parliament. The statement called on the opposition to take up its place in the parliament, and for both parties to commit to the process of removing people with a criminal past. This last point is one of the conditions that was set by the opposition. They have made several claims in the past months that the parliament contains former criminals. The Parliament approved a new amendment today on the law against illegal construction. This amendment was approved with 84 votes in favor. The Socialist MP Ben Blushi opposed these changes, and he was joined by MPs Jafai and Braho. Prime Minister Edi Rama tried to convince all of the majority to vote for the changes in the law. But the words of Mr. Rama did not convince Ben Blushi, who thinks that prison is not the only form of correction. The majority decided to redraft the law, but again they rejected the government's initial version. The punishment for illegal construction was reduced from 5 years in prison down to only 3 years. The changes to the law on the High Court and the law on civil servants were also passed with the same number of votes. The Assembly also amended the law of the Bank of Albania, which allows members with foreign citizenship to be a part of the Supervisory Council. The Constitutional Court has decided to postpone their consideration of an appeal made by the High Council of Justice. They will review this appeal on the 27th of January. The High Council of Justice has demanded that the parliamentary inquiry that led to the dismissal of the 2 members must be declared unconstitutional. They also demanded the suspension of the decision to discharge the 2 members, which is expected to be published in the coming days. The head of the Constitutional Court said that the 2 dismissed members asked to be present during the review of the High Council request, which will be done after the Parliament representatives and the High Council are heard. 2 days ago, the Constitutional Court ruled that the article of the law that the High Council used in the dismissal is in fact unconstitutional. The next ambassador of the United States of America to Albania was sworn in today in a ceremony that was held on U.S. soil. Donald Liu will succeed Alexander Arvizu as the ambassador to Albania. During his speech at the event, the incoming ambassador Liu remarked, "Albania is a close ally and friend of the United States. I will work every day to make sure that this alliance and friendship lives up to the ambitious expectations that both Americans and Albanians share. We are and will always be 2 peoples with an enduring commitment to democracy, civil liberties, and the rule of law." In the bunker from the communist regime that was recently opened up to the public, the room of the former Prime Minister is the highest visited. This room was designated for use by the Prime Minister Mehmet Shehu, and more visitors visit this area in the bunker than any other area. The visitors who were there today, both young and old, had no idea that this is the 33rd anniversary of Shehu's death. Some of the visitors did not even know Shehu's political standing. Young people today know very little about the history of Prime Minister Shehu, and a visit to this room can be a very educational experience. This room is a monument to the past, and visitors to this room can learn a great deal about times long gone. The room contains many photographs from the time that Prime Minister Shehu led the country. The housing area for the former Prime Minister consists of a waiting room for the secretary, working rooms, bedrooms, and bathrooms. This area is regarded as the most luxurious area in the entire bunker, which was built between 1972 and 1978. Mehmet Shehu ended his own life 33 years ago, and the elements behind his suicide still remain somewhat of a mystery. The Minister of Integration took some time today to go and celebrate the holidays with a group of children who have problems with their hearing. The children of the Institute welcomed the Minister of Integration, Clyda Josha, and they enjoyed a festive time together. The event lasted about an hour, and the children sang and danced to the songs of the season. After enjoying the performance of the children, Minister Josha wished them all a very happy holiday. The event was organized by the Institute of Children in Need in cooperation with the Institute of Children with Hearing Problems. Some days ago, the Institute was also visited by the Minister of Innovation, Milena Harito. She gifted some iPads to the kids in order to facilitate communication and help them with their learning. The Theater of Opera and Ballet is going to be introducing their newest symphony performance to the public of Albania. The symphony is entitled Romantic, and it brings the conductor Stefan Lano to the Theater of Opera and Ballet. Conductor Lano has already established himself on the stages of Switzerland. Coordination with the Albanian artists is special and emotional for him because of his Albanian origin. Lano wishes to have these collaborations again in the future, and he says that performing in his own country is a very special opportunity. The Swiss ambassador to Tirana was present at the rehearsal of the concert. He emphasized that Albania and Switzerland have a good relationship and that culture is seen as a bridge between us. The concert will be held on December 19th and 20th at 7 o'clock at the National Theatre of Opera and Ballet. That is all the news for this evening. Thank you for joining us. Please be with us tomorrow again at 6 p.m. Thank you and good night.